Hi, today we're going to talk about what is beauty. This is such an important question. I'm going to start with a beautiful Chopin nocturne. That's the Opus 55 number nocturne, and it comes from what I call the third book of Chopin Etudes, which of course is actually the book of Chopin nocturnes. But they are really etudes in singing, in poetry, in a beautiful tone. And I want to talk today about this question of what is beauty. So if I'm asking you that and you're thinking, okay, well, what is beauty? You might be thinking, oh, beauty is something that moves my soul, and I agree, but I would also say that that is the result of beauty, but it's not necessarily the cause of beauty. And specifically, we're talking about a beautiful tone at the piano. And I want to talk about the craftsmanship of having a beautiful sound. So let's look at some almost science behind having a beautiful tone at the piano, in addition to an equation you can use. So it turns out that beauty is very simple. It is proportion. Let me say that again. Beauty is proportion. And the reason that my tone on the piano is beautiful is because it has beautiful proportions. In fact, let me play it without beautiful proportions. What's the difference? Let's look at the science behind this. First, when I play the left hand, I'm playing pianissimo. And there's a reason I do this. And specifically, it's because the strings on the bottom part of the piano get much longer than the strings up above. So this string down here on this 7-foot Steinway might be about 5 feet long. If I play it on a 9-foot Steinway, it will be 7 feet long. But these strings up here stay about the same length, and they're only like 1.5 feet long. On top of that, sometimes in the left hand of this piece, I'll have triads against a single note. So I might have 10 feet or 8 feet of string length here against this little skinny right hand note that has maybe 16 inches. So it's a pretty unfair fight. Now keep in mind that when you perform, you're not going to perform in the practice room. You're not going to perform in the living room. You're going to perform in a space that is so big you could actually probably park an airplane into that space. And hopefully you'll be able to perform on a 9-foot piano, and these proportions are going to change even more so. So these bass strings are going to get longer, upper strings are not going to stay the same. So let's figure out an equation for those proportions. My left hand, when I play, if we call each note X, and we'll say that X is representing a decibel level, then my right hand, let's call 3X or maybe 4X, depending on the space and the piano. So my right hand is about 3 to 4 times louder. Now here's the really common struggle that I see with students, and they'll look very dutifully at the music that says piano and that opening marking. But the problem will be that if they play both hands piano, that right hand's not going to sing. It's not going to come out over the left hand. And so really what I'm doing is two things. I actually make my left hand more like pianissimo, and I make my right hand mezzo forte. And then the second thing is that when I see P, it turns out P doesn't actually stand for piano. I like to joke that P actually stands for project. So I'm trying to project this melody into the space that I'm going to be playing in, which is not this space where the wall is right here, but that space where in a concert the wall might be 100 or 200 feet back. And those proportions are going to change depending on the piece and potentially the piano. Here's some Rachmaninoff. It's the same idea, but now I've got maybe 12 notes in the left hand against these single notes here. And again, they're even lower, so I might have 30 feet of string length against the top. It's a really unfair fight, isn't it? There's a reason as a pianist that your right hand, especially your pinky, is probably very strong from trying to do this. So just in recap, again, as you are trying to work on having a beautiful tone, this is a foundational aspect of having beautiful proportions, and there's a lot of other things involved in this as well to make the piano sing. But as you listen to a pianist that you really like, and try and figure out why they have a beautiful sound, listen to those proportions. And remember, X in the left hand will probably equal 3 to 4x in the right hand. Happy practicing.